Alright guys, this is the Salomondrin vs. David Lee video part 4. So all of the information that I'm going to be telling you in this video is coming from David Lee himself. So about 4 days ago, David Lee emailed me, personal email. I woke up on Sunday, I was like, oh, holy shit. So I email him back, we go back and forth. He's like, do you want the truth? I'll call you, we'll have a conversation, and I will tell you everything. So I'm just blown away that David Lee himself reached out to me. He wanted to tell the whole story. He didn't want any lies on the table. He wanted to get the story straight. So it's been about 2 days since he called me up. We had an amazing conversation. We talked for well over 40 minutes. He's just easy guy to talk to. It's completely genuine, down-to-earth guy. I was just blown away by the experience, and I would hope to stay in contact with him. So during the phone call, he told me everything that you would need to know for the situation. And for today's video, I'm going to be starting from the very beginning of the conflict to the very end in chronological order, from when it started and when it stopped. Well, we hope it's over. So the whole situation really started the filming of Hyper 5 and Ferrari Big 5 and all of that. But I'm just going to say before that, the whole Chris Singh situation, that was like months before that on like one of the Pagani rallies, and Salomondrin was just talking a lot of crap about Pagani itself, and Chris Singh was just really upset about that, and he lashed out at Alejandro, and that was really it. That's their beef. Really nothing else to say there right now. I think they both moved on from that, but they're still not really friends because of how bad Alejandro was talking about Pagani, apparently. So I'm really not going to get into that much. So we're just going to get into the first initial beef that started off during Hyper 5 and the whole banging gears and Ferrari Big 5 and all of that. So starting out in banging gears, so they had all the cars together, but they had the LaFerrari, the P1, the Bugatti, the Huayra, the 918, they had all those cars, but then Alejandro's guy who had the LaFerrari, he pulled out. So David Lee reached out and said, hey, you can use my car, and while we're at it, we're at the track and everything, how about we just do a Ferrari Big 5? Like, just get all the Ferraris on the track, and we can do all that. And in doing all that, David Lee also said he would cover the cost of, like, what he would have to pay for. So Alejandro gave him the figures, and they sat down, and this is where the miscommunication started with dealing with money, as, you know, how all problems probably start out is dealing with money, like these big problems. So the problem with the money was David Lee misheard Alejandro's figure that he gave him to make this video. David Lee thought he said $15,000, but Alejandro came back and said, no, that's $50,000 for a YouTube video. So David Lee is just all confused, like, $50,000 for a YouTube video? That's completely ridiculous. And so through all of this, Alejandro, he was being really shifty with the whole situation. He never really had the proper paperwork and just all of that together. And David Lee, he was like, all right, I'll pay for it. He gave him the $50,000, and then later on, he was like, oh, it's actually $62,000. But after that, they kind of worked out an agreement, like, oh, I'll pay this much, you pay that much, and it kind of went from there. So coming from that, I'm sure everything is settled with the money, because that was almost a year ago. That was all settled, but there was still some bad blood between them because of the miscommunication and the amount of money that they had to pay for this YouTube video and just everything. And David Lee was shocked at the cost. When he told me the numbers, I was shocked too. So that's all wrapped up now. Let's move on to the Pagani situation. as you guys all well know, Alejandro sold his Pagani Huayra. He traded into CNC Motors so that he could get his 918 Spider, the Salomondrin Green 918 Spider that we all know and love. So David Lee is good friends with the owner of CNC Motors, and he purchased the Huayra from CNC Motors and he brought it back. And after owning it for like a week or two, David Lee goes and changes the name to the Huayra to the Da Vinci. From 730S, he changed it to Da Vinci. Now, David Lee, he paid the $2-3 million for this car. He can do whatever he pleases to the car. He can change the name because the names aren't official. He told me that none of the names are official except for one. The only Pagani Huayra special, like one-of-one edition name is Chris Singh's Le Mans Elisa. And the only reason why Horatio was willing to make Chris Singh's Le Mans Elisa official name and put it in the books and everything, the only reason why like his Pagani is the official one is because him and Horatio, they're actually probably really close, and when they decided that they were going to make the name official, they had just been drinking, having a good time, and that's when they decided to make the Le Mans Elisa the official name of Chris Singh's car. And the thing is, with all the other Paganis, like with changing names, like changing owners, the Pagani team, they are willing to make special plaques for you to throw in your car. Like, you can take off someone else's name plaque and you can put your name in it, because they are completely willing to do that. And the sticker that was on the back of Salomondrin's 918, he just got that from Sticker City, just like he made the one for his new GLE Coupe or whatever. He just got it from Sticker, threw it on there. That's what David Lee tells me. Like, none of it's official. The only official name is the Le Mans Elisa, owned by Chris Singh. So after the name change, all the fans, they're all butthurt over this, and they think it's disrespectful, but that is David Lee's car now. He paid the price for the car, and I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, why would you get mad over someone doing something to their property? That doesn't make any sense. Everybody just needs to calm down and be respectful to David Lee, because he's a respectful person. Alright, and regarding the award that David Lee won for the Da Vinci, the Huayra, at that one event, anybody that would have brought a Pagani Huayra to that event and put it in the contest would have won it. It was for the design of the car, not the spec. The spec is completely out the window. It's because of the design of the car. If there was an all jet black car there, all jet black Huayra, it would have won. And that's pretty much it. And David didn't even keep that award. He sent it back to Horatio because he deserves it, and that's his masterpiece. So think whatever you want to think about that. Alright, with the Pagani situation all wrapped up, let's talk about the J-Car 2 situation. So as you know, in my previous post, I talked about J-Car 2 just bashing Alejandro on his what the FXXK is going on with Ferrari post. Like, he's just bashing him, just bashing his financial status and all that. And what David Lee told me, like, J-Car 2, he's a big boy, he can do whatever he wants, and yeah, like, that's his brand, he's really passionate about it, and he doesn't want anybody talking about it. But I'm still, like, not with J-Car 2 on this one, because I think he went too far. And what David Lee told me is that J-Car 2 was going to go after Alejandro much harder than he actually did. But David came in and said, well, Josh, you need to just cool it, back off, and just leave it alone. Let the situation be. And with the IG story that J-Car 2 took, David Lee was over somewhere else having a phone convo, and he didn't even know J-Car 2 was taking that Instagram story, and the person you hear laughing in his video is David Lee's mechanic or something like that. That's what he told me. So, in conclusion, with everything that's been down from banging gears, the Hyper 5, the Ferrari Big 5, from the Pagani to dealing with the Golden Jew, to dealing with J Car 2, to dealing with Chris Singh, everything is, like, there are still tensions there, but everything is kind of dissipated. Everything's calmed down. Nothing's really gonna happen anymore aside from me making this video, which David Lee wanted me to make. So regarding the fans coming after David Lee, and David Lee deleting and blocking some people, that's because the comments they were leaving were just outright just ridiculous, disgusting, spiteful comments, disrespectful. David Lee is just trying to represent a positive, motivational status on social media. He's not trying to get caught up in this bullcrap. And basically, why him and Alejandro just have this tension between them is because of the miscommunication of funds from Hyper 5 and stuff like that. And just a bunch of other just miscommunications. And even Lee, he told me that he had been trying to come in contact with Alejandro and try to talk things out and just settle everything. But he said that Alejandro wasn't answering texts, calls, or anything. And like me and him, we were just having a conversation. He was like, that's what needs to be done. You just need to pick up the phone and have a conversation and talk things through, just like me and him. And basically the rest of the conversation me and him had, it was just about being respectful, inspiring happiness, and just being motivational to others and stuff like that. We talked for a good amount of time. It was a great conversation. I'm so happy he reached out. He's really a genuine, down-to-earth person. And from what Alejandro's saying, it's just making him out to be a bad guy just because of a little miscommunication and stuff. And a lot can transpire from miscommunication, and a lot can be said from that. Just be better from next time and just move on. I know this video is going to be more one-sided towards David Lee, but my first few videos were towards Alejandro, so we're basically coming back and forth between the perspectives here, and you never really know the whole story. David Lee told me, Alejandro's crew and him, they're completely, different personalities. So I promise you this will be the last video unless Alejandro wants to give me a call. Call me up, we can talk from your perspective and I'll make another video. But yeah, so what do you guys think about this video? About David Lee reaching out, calling me up, we had a conversation, we talked through everything. I hope I hit on all the points that we talked about in the conversation. I wrote down a bunch of notes from that after we had the conversation. So, and David Lee can vouch for that. We did have a phone call, 40 minutes, all this information is from that. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Comment below. If you like this video, smash the like button, subscribe. I'm really trying to get that 1,000 sub goal by the end of this month, by December 1st. I really want to smash it. So, yeah. What do you guys think? Comment, and I will catch you in the next video.